podcast. I'm Justin Horo, aka the Horoscope. Joined, I couldn't even get it out. Joined by the triple OG, Willie Mason Mace. Just want to get something straight off the bat, right? Levelsnetwork.com.au. That is our email list. So our collection is nearly here. Hats have arrived. Hoodies are arriving next week. So to get access for the first people to get the kit when it arrives, we need you to sign up on levelsnetwork.com.au. We will send you the list of the merch, the hoodie and hats that will be available to purchase, and you'll get that 24 hours before anyone else. Okay. So make sure you're in there. Collection 1 is here.
So you can't get one unless you sign up.
You got to sign up. You'll get the updates to buy one. Okay. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to sharing the kit that we've been working on. In particular, Lukey's been working really hard on these. We love them. We wear the hoodies everywhere. Yeah. Got the hat on as well. So thank you in advance for everyone who jumps on board. We're really looking forward to this. Like we said, we wanted to get it right, so we took our time with it, and we feel like it's ready to go. Speaking about ready to go, mate, I got the Sydney Marathon on the weekend, mate.
You nervous or what? Why am I nervous? I
feel like you've been a part of the journey.
I've watched the journey. I know how hard you train. So I don't know. That's why I keep asking you questions. Like, you're probably just looking, just get this fucker over with, right? You've trained so hard. You're doing, 30K a week pretty much for the last 8 weeks. Probably more.
Yeah, so 30. I ran 30 specifically in. I'll probably anywhere between 40 to 60K per week. Yeah, per week.
Holy shit!
On those big weeks before I tapered down.
Yeah.
So I haven't done 8 weeks.
Good 8 weeks you were doing that.
Yeah. There was a lot of time, mate. It's a lot of time. Yes. Like you got to put in. Whether I was on holidays with Kaya in Queenstown and I still had to get 20 done, and she was
when we were in
filthy
Auckland,
on holidays.
20K.
Auckland. Got up nice and early and got that done so we could get some content done.
What are you more? Are you nervous about anything?
Yeah.
Are you nervous about fatigue? And just say when you're in a game, right? You're like, fuck, I could blow out in the last bit of an origin or big games, and that you're worried about not finishing because you've heard horror stories, right? Yes. The last 5K, everyone thinks they're sweet, and it's like, you fucking break down. Yeah. That's probably in the back of your head,
That's it. That's my biggest worry. And I really don't want to walk. I think I am going to have to walk, but I really don't want to if I don't have to. Will. I think I can just get a little shuffle on. I told that story about Parramatta Park before.
Yeah, just don't. You won't stop. I don't think you will. It's not in
the back of my head, that's why I don't listen to music as well, because those sorts of stories will run through my head when I'm doing it tough. Like, fuck, don't you walk, you fucking.
I don't think you walk. It's not in you.
So I really don't want to. I've got a good gang. Me, Louis Brown, and Jamie Bureau doing it together. We're all ex-teammates at some point throughout our careers. We all played together at some point. Lukey's doing the half marathon as well, so he's going to pump out 21. So super proud of him. From before he'd even done the City to Serve, 14K was the most he's done. So now he's jumping all the way up to 21. When
is it? Is it Sunday?
It's on Sunday. We've got a bit of a push to go. So to get them, I got looked after. I'm with the Fly Athletic crew, and we're helping, obviously, push the Sydney Marathon. But in order to normally get it for free, you'd have to apply for a charity. I don't need that. Because I'm already in regardless, because I've been looked after. But what you can help me do is I've joined up with Pass It On Clothing for the donation. So every runner has a charity. Lukey, I'll get you here. We've got the link here. Can you put that again in the description, in the bio for us? I've got $250. The target's 600. So if we can get a late push over the next 2 or 3 days before I run on Saturday, it's going to a great cause. Chris and the team do great things at Pass It On Clothing. Also, a big shout out to Fly Athletic. A couple of my mates, Nick Youngquest, Ben Lucas, part of their crew.
Good dudes,
they're ambassadors for the Sydney Marathon, and they've ran multiple marathons. So I'm proud to be representing them. But let's get into the news, eh?
All right.
And still, the news has just dragged on all week, mate. Like I said, I did SEN yesterday with Fletch, and we talked about it again. The gamble news is still going on. It was on 360. Just a little bit on it.
It's given him some good airplay, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's a mixed bag. It's honestly a mixed bag, depending on. I will say, and I don't know how you feel about this. I sort of like the response from Gamble. You got to be half respectful, but he's got dog in him, Gamble.
You got people don't understand. He said this after a game, right?
Yeah.
He just won a fucking final. in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Then you go and ask him that question. Of course he's going to be on his high horse, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't give a shit. It's petty, and I'm the most pettiest motherfucker
100%.
of all time.
We enjoy it.
He don't understand. I'm not a journalist. I don't give a shit. I'm just me. This is what I do.
We just spit shit out every now and again, and whatever sticks.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you want to say stuff, you want to say get fucked, well, you get fucked. I don't care. You know, he's got more pressure on him because he's got to go out there and play again. Everyone's going to be watching Newcastle's spine. So if you fail this week, boy, even fucking more pressure, and then they're going to come down on you. So I'm not sure if he's used to pressure, right? Because it just usually gives it to KP, right?
Yep.
You know, they've been relying on him, take us to the promised land. You're going to have to be relying on the six as well. So he's going to have to do his thing, and that's when the knives will come out.
Much improved. So for this episode, we're doing something a little bit differently because all the spine got all the it got all the news, it got all the headlines. We've mixed it up. We want to change it a little bit, something that we don't think anyone does. Yeah. So we're really big on shape. Yeah. We're really big on edges. You played edge back row, I played edge back row. You also played in the middle, so you know how the middle's got the mentality's like in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Storm left edge versus Roosters right, Storm right versus Roosters left, middles on each other, and the same for the Warriors and Knights. So we'll get to the edges for the Newcastle Knights. So let's see if Gamble gets another rinse in indirectly, because I don't believe he was the target to begin with.
At him. But I understand he's a fiery little shit. But hey, there's no pressure on me because I just talk shit.
Yeah. We just
that's my take on it, right?
No matter what we're going to come up.
Probably hurt his little feelings because he hasn't played in fucking big games and he hasn't played good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a bit of pressure now. Now you're in New Zealand. You know, you got the six on your back. And you talk some shit, back it up, son.
And no matter what, we're still going to be previewing preliminary final.
Now I'm just gonna
whether he's there or not.
Crack at him all the time.
Whether he's there or not. All right, so we'll get into it. Love you, Gamble. Love you, Tyson. All right, as always, we're chasing that 20K, baby. We're getting there, mate. 17.K YouTube subscribers. Should be pumping now with the news coverage on 360 SEN.
What is it?
We're chasing 20K, 17.6K on YouTube. Those are our subscribers. 21 plus on Instagram. We're also on Twitter or Elon's X. So might pick one question per episode on that. Lukey's put that in. He's going to be on the X network, which is the old Twitter.
X, Lukey?
Yeah, we're rolling with X, baby. And we've also got the Levels Community Club on Strava 420. Chuck me that protein shake in front of you there, Mace, because I just want to thank our friends, our partners, Body Science and the protein shakes, which I'm going to be relying on heavily in the Sydney Marathon. These are the ready-to-drink vanilla and chocolate shakes. Whether you need a quick hit of protein to help you refuel maybe 10K in, maybe 20K in, maybe 30K, but definitely at the end, when I'm sitting in the ice bath at Ivy.
Where you can just like suck them up.
I've got the quick
electrolytes,
ones. I've got the electrolytes ready to go. I'll probably smash this bad boy straight after, maybe two of them. I'll be sitting in the ice bath at Ivy straight after. So it'll be a couple of protein shakes and then I'll treat myself.
I'll see
treat myself. You'll be there. Currently available in Coles, online at bodyscience.com.au and in independent supplement retailers. Mace, we missed out on the YouTube questions because the episode got pulled last week, but with a successful review show, we've got some really good ones for this week. So let's kick it off. If I was Walter, let's kick the first one off. Sorry, I missed this one. And we were talking about this, so this is relevant. Hey, boys, love the potty. Just a question. Do you think teams should start chants or something for games to make the rivalry more interesting? Sort of like the Premier League. So you remember when when we went over for the Premier League, in the Super League, and the fans used to scream your name.
Yeah, it was mad.
So we used to have, for instance, at Wakey, we used to have, "Oh, David Fafita." Like they used to sing that
shit.
Big Bob would come and dance to the North Stand every time he scored a try at Wakey. We were talking about it yesterday with the game day experience with Jay, right? So you've got, for instance, now with the Wars, up the Wars, that's fucking, it's like caught on nationally. You've got people in Australia saying it. You've got the Spider-Man crew. You've got the effort that teams are putting in at stadiums these days. And then even to a lesser extent or even a couple of years ago, remember when the Raiders went on the run and they had the Viking Club after the World Cup. I just think teams now should be thinking outside of the box. We're talking about the game day experience.
Yeah. Some game days in NRL is awful.
Well, the 12,000 for a first final, Sharks versus Roosters, is just not good enough. So, in my opinion, it's up to the clubs and the fans to sort of try to come up with some sort of maybe chant, some music, hey, me and you are big fans of, and you've shared it a couple of times, Virginia Tech come out to Sandman, right?
It's
and
crazy.
The atmosphere. I think there should be something like that. If I'm an NRL team now, I'm getting together with my social media team. I'm looking around. I'm like, what's unique to what we're doing as a club, and how can we better the game day experience? The one thing, our TV ratings kill the AFL, but game day we're not even close.
Nowhere near it.
90,000 compared to 12,000 is just not good enough for a first week of finals in comparison. So I like the question.
I like it.
And that is from Faith Ismanu, and he's a regular. He loves our show. So shout out to the question, Faith Ismanu.
You know, with what you're saying with Wakey and over in England and Hull and all these like northern hemisphere sort of teams, it's part of their culture, right? You know, with soccer and everything over there, they sing songs and they fucking really get into it. That's why playing over there in front of 10,000. It's like playing in front of 50 here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure Aussies are like that. Our demographic and our sort of, the people that follow the game and go to the game. Yeah. I don't think they'll make up songs and shit like that, but they need to come up with something, right?
Well,
with up the wahs. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, who's thought of that shit? I get it, Warriors wahs and all that kind of stuff, but like...
I seen Shawnee Johnson had an interview with JT for Channel 9, and he claimed that... go ahead, Lukey, it's all right.
Yeah, the My FM, not My FM, there was a chick on My FM a few years ago, that morning shift podcast.
Yep.
Identified, they went back through all the content.
Okay, there you go.
3 years ago.
There we go. So Lukey's telling us there that My FM, were the OGs 2 to 3 years back. But I seen Shawnee Johnson also have a chat to JT on Channel 9, and he believes that it was sort of a thing, but when he said it after the Sharks game, in that comeback game in the Sharks earlier in the year, he hit him with the up the wahs, and then he walked away, and he's like, it's kind of cringe when he said it, and then walked away. And then from there, it's just exploded. Mental. Yeah. But you remember Jacko was saying
Jacko
up the wahs.
was doing it, and I was like, I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. I said, who the fuck are the wahs?
He was doing it in the off-season, so it must date all the way back to My FM, like Luke is saying there. So...
whatever they've done, it's fucking good.
And I feel like you've got to try to find something like, I don't know, like use the Dogs as an example for game day, right? You play at a stadium that's got a core majority of the time. Very hard for a game day experience. Find some music, find something, find something on a game day experience that the fans can latch onto and can become.
And the members, they've got 20,000+ members, right?
Yeah, and they can feel a part of it. Yeah. Every single Warriors fan now, even some of the OGs like yourself who.
Just sort of get caught up in it.
And you just start saying up the wahs, and it's momentum and winning helps for sure. Yeah. So if you're not winning, it's a lot harder. But if you develop that, I think the media teams, like I said, the club should put an emphasis, and I think it'll really improve the game. Do you think
the clubs really care? Roosters, South, all that kind of stuff, because we rate so highly on TV. Yeah, and that's what it's all about, right? I don't think they really they do put effort into game days, but it's not like America. It's not like the NFL or anything like that, or even like in England. It's just weird. It's just never been a part of our culture, right? Before games. You just rock up to the game pretty much on the kickoff and fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. There's no just say with the tailgating and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like with the NFL, you sit in the fucking car park for 3 or 4 hours before a game.
Yeah, it's the best.
Having a barbecue, drinking piss, and then going and watch the game for 4 hours.
Yeah,
there's nothing like that.
We're at the Packers 49ers game. We sat at the front for about an hour with the boys before we went in there.
That's an experience.
Yeah, exactly right. And I don't think there is anything like that. No. I don't think we need to go as crazy as tailgating, but
we can't.
Some form of entertainment that is... that'll get the parents taking their kids and being a part of it.
Yes.
Yeah, whether it's You're
not catering for us, right? You're not catering to the 30, 40-year-olds. You're catering from 15 to 25.
Because
30.
you know why? We won't want to go.
No, I'd fucking hate it.
You need your kids to drag you to go more often than not, because it's so comfortable to sit at home and watch. Like, if I grow up and Lenny wants to go to an NRL game or even an NRLW game, I'd love to sit there on the couch and watch it with her. So you've got to improve that game day experience, whether it be some fun songs, whether it's something as simple as a Viking clap. I still get a little bit of goosebumps every now and again when I watch the Viking clap.
Yeah, it's mad.
And then they hit the drums at the end.
We've got an old player doing it as well.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So they
like the Seahawks blowing the horn.
They do that. So it's like you pretty much just got to copy and paste whatever the fucking team's doing in America, right? Yeah. Don't put it like that, because we're not like that.
You got to make it
unique and just like whatever fits our sort of culture and our demographic of fans. So it'd be a fucking hard one, man.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It hasn't been at the forefront of their minds in years past, but with social media...
And I think COVID fucked it as well for a couple of years.
Of course.
They've just gone, don't worry about it. Now they're just trying to come back, and I think slowly they're going to get back to where they are. Yeah. People come up with different ideas because...
I reckon
it helps, right?
Yep.
Everything.
And when you look at the social media teams and the creators that they're bringing to games, whether it's guys like Lukey who are taking pictures, Jacko doing his work at the Warriors, Timmy Costins is a friend of ours. He does these shots at Brisbane. It's not necessarily just about the game anymore.
No, you got to make it look cool.
There's so much fucking vibey shit outside of the game that you can put into it.
Like, it's got to be enjoyable. I've been to a lot of games. I'm just like, I always think of that. Like, if I'm a punter, like, I get to go to games. I get to, like, you got your pass. I can go to any sort of game. I go into the Ambassadors Lounge. I get a different experience, right? Ex-player, you can do what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But I always think about, like, just the normal person who comes to a game. Like, is this a good experience?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, especially
would it be enjoyable if I wasn't... if I was just a normal bloke paying for my money, come and sit in those chairs, is this a good experience?
And even more so, just like the Bulldogs, because people are going to talk about the Bulldogs, if the results aren't going your way too. So the worst case, right, your team hasn't performed. And in a way too, right, if you get like, we talked about it after the Warriors game.
Yeah.
It's something as simple as the blackout that the Warriors do. Like, you put that much energy into a fire show, the blackout, the energy of the crowd, they make the fucking opposition team wait out there for a little bit while they build it all up. As a player, you run out, you go...
It's scary. I played in those blackouts, man.
I better fucking win today or else.
But even without, like, we've got the craziest, most passionate fans. We need to somehow just get those guys up. The 12,000 that turn up pretty much every game, regardless of how we're losing. Because I usually sit with Mum, and she sits right with all the fans.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? They're so passionate, and obviously they want the team to win, but I'm like, I don't know, they need something.
Yep, for sure.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Not just the Bulldogs, but I just understand from a game day perspective with the Bulldogs, I'm like, fuck, the fans is just, obviously they just wanted to win.
Yep.
That's
I think if you're not Brisbane Broncos, Allianz, the Roosters and CommBank, they've got such a really good corporate experience, plus the seatings and the stadiums are so much better that they don't really rely on it.
Big.
Accor, you need to, if you're in Accor, if you're playing at Accor, the Bulldogs or the Rabbitohs, you need to find ways to improve the game day.
Parramatta does a good game day.
Parramatta do a really good game day.
Because of that stadium is perfect.
Perfect.
You know, so
thanks for the question.
I think everyone at Accor, whoever's game days at Accor, sucks. It's so big. Yeah. It's so big, and you'll just say you play there on a Sunday, you get 14,000 there. It seats fucking 90,000.
Yeah,
it don't look good.
Yeah, and
if you're losing, it's not good.
It feels like you run out to that, you feel like you're playing at Wenny Park.
Yeah, I remember we averaged 32,000 there for about 4 years.
Yeah,
and it felt like nothing. If we did that, that would pack out CommBank every single game.
Yeah.
Felt like nothing.
There needs to be some thought process around that for sure. Good question. All right, the next one is from Troy Staunton. If I was Walters, I'd be playing Haas opening 25 and final 25. Get on a roll and close it out. But I also think in an ideal world, you don't want Flegler and Haas off at the same time. Be interesting to see what the pack Mason would put together if he could build a starting pack using 02 Bulldogs and 23 Broncos. Yes. I'm not going to ask you to do this because it's going to be too hard and you're too close to it, but I'll give you my team. So this is a tough one.
02? He said 02?
02, yeah.
Fuck.
04, should we do 04 better?
Do 04, you got more players. 02, you probably only know me and Oga.
Yeah, so...
Because Sonny and that weren't around.
Steve Price was in that team.
Yeah.
O'Mealy was in it. Mace or Ricky, Paddy Carrigan or Bobcat. Was Bobcat in 02?
No.
It was 04.
04.
All right, so I'll go... my front rowers would be Payne Haas and...
Fucking Ogre, man. They would like... For each other,
yep.
Because Payne Haas can get a little bit wider, and then Ogre's just doing that quick play the ball for Payne Haas.
Yeah,
they'd play really good together.
Yeah, Payne Haas and you got to leave Flegler out.
Yeah,
and who was you? Was Razzie your other front rower? Starting front rower?
Yeah.
Fuck,
it's hard, man.
I'm going Payne Haas and Ogre because I think they'll complement each other a lot better. I'm going yourself and Sonny in the back row, even though Sonny was off the bench.
But he was like starting lock. He was starting back row.
Yeah, he was all over. And then I'd go Paddy Tough Carry in the middle. And then I'd probably go Corey Hughes.
Corey Hughes is good, man.
Yeah, I'd probably go Corey Hughes over Billy Walters. Yeah. Billy Walters has had a good season. He's much improved. Yeah. He's probably trending, but I remember I was a Roosters fan growing up. Freddie played at the same team that that I played out at Penrith, Cambridge Park.
Oh, really?
And then I went to the Roosters in 18, so I was a big Freddie fan. Yeah. And Corey Hughes used to annoy the shit out of me. I hated that Bulldogs team. I hated your 04 Bulldogs team.
One of the greats.
And we'll get to that a little bit later on because I've got my my favourite ever spine, and you've got your favourite ever spine in another question. So, do you like that team?
It's solid.
Mark O'Malley and Big Payne up front.
Jesus.
Corey Hughes in the middle. He just no one's running through that middle.
No.
Then you got yourself and Sonny on the edges. Shout out to Jordan, Ricky, and Capes. Two really good other choices. And Big Paddy, Tough Carry in the middle.
It's a solid pack, man.
That's a good pack.
Even our 04 was like me, Sonny, Sonny and Bobcat, and Ren and Tony Grimaldi, and everyone sort of mixed up. It's like Sonny would play in the right centre sometimes. He'd come off the bench. Roy would be in around that sort of area.
Razza was hard to leave out.
You know what I mean? Rennie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like you don't realise until now how blessed we were as a pack, man. That was a fucking good pack.
Fucking oath. All right, the next one is, gents, really digging your show. Assuming that they're at their peak, who out of these unqualified Origin players would you choose in order if you were the coach? So, if you could choose between, they're all current players, and this is in their prime too, by the way.
Yep.
Jared Warrior-Hargraves, Tom Burgess, Jason Tomalolo, and James Fisher-Harris.
All right. Do you think Fisher-Harris is peaking right now?
I think you could...
For the last 2 or 3 years, I reckon he's been...
You could argue Fisher-Harris is the most consistent in the last 3 years over all of them.
Jared Warrior-Hargraves probably peaked 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yep. Couple
17,
grand final.
you know what I mean?
And then he got a couple later on too. He should... Did he get... did he get Clive? No, Jack Whiten got it. No, he deserved it.
Yeah, he did.
In the 19?
Yeah, 19, wasn't it? Taumalola was the best forward 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
He's the pick?
Fuck, mate. You can't go past a peak Taumalola. Don't worry about what's happening now.
Yeah.
He's playing a little bit busted, but even he showed glimpses last year.
Yeah, fucking oath.
He's got it, mate. He would destroy Origin right now.
Yeah.
If he was just playing lock for New South Wales or front row, he would destroy Origin.
Yeah.
He's just got that in his prime.
Would he have played for Queensland or New South Wales?
Fucking probably Queensland.
Queensland. Imagine that. Imagine if that team, after the run of those guys, are sort of finishing and
then he comes on
dwindling in, and he's like he would have taken him against
16, 17, 18. Yeah, awful.
Yeah,
he's like
he would have got the back end of the OGs, and then would have helped Munster, Cherry, and
he would have been part of the gang
next
right
gen.
now.
Fuck,
he's scary, mate. In his prime, I think steps off both feet, can pass, good passing game, ball rusher. Inside shoulders, he's got everything.
The other two that stand out more than any other player for me, and in that era as well, Sonny, Bill, or Sam. If you had to pick one,
yeah, fuck. For Origin, and they just say, for instance, they were born here. You had to pick one to play. Be good if they played against each other in Origin. That would have been mad.
They both would have played for New South Wales though, if the rules were different.
Sonny would go for Queensland.
Yeah, would he?
Yeah,
Is he Queensland?
He's a Queenslander.
Yeah. I love that.
I think because of fucking Tonga and all that, they all played, and then he's like, but most fucking brothers do, man.
Yeah, a lot of Kiwis do.
Why?
Because when my dad was Queensland growing up, because Queensland were always the underdogs.
Right, okay.
So a lot of Kiwis...
They fucking play that good, don't they?
Well, that changed to fucking completely flipped on its head, right? But if you grew up in the 90s and you were Kiwis and you were getting into the game, a lot of them were Queensland fans because they were getting pumped. And then, for instance, their dads might have been going for Queensland. So me, I was opposite. So if my dad went for Michael Jordan, I was Scottie Pippen. You know, like now I'm furious I'm Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
But if my dad was Queensland, I grew up as a kid going for New South Wales, and that's how it was. But
that's a hard one, man. Like peak Sonny Bill and peak Sam Burgess, because they're both Origin players, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to pick.
I'll go.
I don't even know. It's a coin toss, right?
Yeah.
Who do you reckon?
I'm going Sammy.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. He's one of the best to do it.
I'm going Sammy for an Origin game. And this might sound weird, but I'm going Sonny for a grand final.
Yeah, he's got that.
I feel like Sammy, 3 series through the middle, they talk about Origin players.
He's an Origin player, bro.
Sonny will for sure play any fucking World Cups or whatever, Rugby World Cups, everything.
But Sonny's got so much
in a grand final, in a skill set, like one game, do or die, and I need to get a win for some reason, I'm picking Sonny in that.
Yeah.
But give me a series.
I get it with Sam. Sam's like, just pick him and he'll do the best job for you. But what peak Sammy's 13, like 14, 15, 16, 17?
Yep. 13, we knocked him out to go into the GF. Then 14, they won the GF.
Yeah.
15, he took off to Union.
That's right.
And then he come back. shoulder was never really the same, right? And then he had to finish up a couple of years after that. But even when he first come over in 2010 with that reputation of fucking going straight through Fui, he fucking pumped Fui off the kickoff.
All the skills, like he's quick, he's fast, he's big, he can tip on, he's got everything. Same as Sonny, but Sonny had so much skill, you didn't want to waste it in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so get on an edge. Like, I love Sonny as a lock.
Yeah.
Where he can roam both sides.
Yeah, so do I.
I'd hate it when they put him on one edge because everyone just game plans for it and they just stack the box and go. The other side, where he played lock, he could just do whatever. He just play off the top of his head.
Yeah.
In the middle of the field, he'd just go bang. He's over there, he's doing little dummies, little flick passes and shit. Like, fucking just go.
Yeah.
No structure, just go.
All right, tell you who does need structure, though. Tyson Gamble. No, I'm only kidding. I like Tyson Gamble. He'd be an amazing 14 for any club, and I really agree with that. I think he's a much improved 6, and he's still got a lot of opportunity to develop into a really good 6, but I'd love Gamble in the 14. When they were floating the KP idea, they actually weren't playing Gamble for big minutes either, but he's much improved in the 6 jersey. But Mason is right. He's not as dangerous as the 5'8". No, Mason isn't a half, but he's played with some incredible spines. He played with some of the best. So he would like to know, Mace, who is your best spine as a not rep footy? In your opinion, the best spine in the last 25 years. So he's going back all the way. He's going back a bit further.
In a club game.
In a club game.
Yeah, right.
In one particular year. He's gone for the spine of the Raiders. I think it might have been the 94 spine.
Yeah.
Brett Mullins fullback, Laurie Daly 6, Ricky Stewart 7, Steve Walters 9, Bradley Clyde at 13. That's the New South Wales spine, except for Steve Walters, who played for Queensland.
And he's the Aussie hooker.
All right, and they will.
Let me double down on that, right?
Okay, you got one for us?
I'll give you the 07 Storm.
07 Storm.
07 Storm. Cam Smith.
Yep.
Cooper Cronk.
Yep.
GI at 5'8".
That's right. He got
Dallas Johnson.
And who was fullback?
Billy Slater.
And GI won the
Clive Churchill at 6.
That's hard to beat.
Remember he threw Sowie over the sideline?
Yeah. Was that 07
year?
07. In the first game at the old Melbourne Olympic Park?
Yeah. It was awful. That was dangerous. I remember playing against those guys. It was awful.
Tell me about that Olympic Park. Wasn't the running track just on the outside?
It was a fucking running track.
Yeah.
You'd have to run across the running track to get on the field.
It looked awful to play at. And always windy and shit.
Awful.
Yep.
Absolutely fucking awful. Amy Park's the best thing they built down there.
That, for me,
That's
man.
ridiculous, man.
Raiders, I went to the 94 grand final with my dad as a kid. It was my first ever game that Dad took me to that he wasn't a part of, playing at the time. So that 94 I did a podcast with Laurie Daly early on when I started doing the potties, and that was a real moment for me because
I love Laurie.
94 scoring in the corner. I remember when
dogs.
He gets ankle tapped and he crawls and he scores in the corner. But like I said, I grew up a Roosters fan and I fucking hated you guys. That 2004 spine, considering their spine, Mincat at fullback.
Oh, the Roosters spine, 04?
Roosters spine, 04.
Yeah, fuck.
Freddie at 6, my favourite player. Finchy at 7. Craig Wing at 9.
Yeah.
And Rico at 13. I love Rico, but Rico missed the grand final, didn't he?
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think Flano started or Croc.
Did he get suspended?
No, I think it was his calf or something. Or
was
knee,
it?
Maybe an injury.
Yeah, okay. I remember he didn't play in the grand final.
Just thinking our spine, what we have? Corey Hughes. I think Adam Perry started.
General fullback.
General, Braith, Shifty, and
Corey Hughes.
And Tony Grimaldi.
Just
a bunch of fucking dogs, man.
Toilers. Dogs.
We had a fucking decent side, but it was well balanced, right?
That spine ain't going to beat you with skill, respectfully. Love you, Braith. Love you, Braith.
Yeah, Braith was on top of his game then. So
Braith was probably the most creative out of all of them, right?
Shifty was on fire 04. He was just behind Joey and everything.
Yeah.
So
Shifty just
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He was
a top 3 halfback for what? 10 years?
Yeah.
Or do you reckon would his career gone for that long and never would have got close to rep jerseys because he had the fucking GOAT in front of him? Noddy was thereabouts.
Yeah.
He was playing in rep teams as well.
Gowie.
And Gowie.
Yeah. He slept on Gowie.
Yeah, Gowie's heavily slept on.
He was a gun.
He was a weapon.
But that's what we had, a really well-balanced side. You had Oga, myself, Roy, Sonny, Rennie, Matt Utai, Willie Tonga.
Yeah.
We just had, General's like Dylan Edwards. That's what he's like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great
Safe as hell.
Yeah.
Like
heaps of yards.
Fit.
Mad defender.
300, mad
good
defender.
communicator.
Leadership group. That's why like Dylan Edwards is in all these leadership groups. That's the same as General. He was always in the leadership group because he's highly respected, trained the hardest, did everything right. He was just in that era where they picked Hodgson in front of him. Remember that Origin series in 01?
Yep.
And then Minnie took over in 03 and then fucking went with it.
That was it.
And that was it.
Yep.
Then Brett Stewart and all those blokes come along, and then it's just, those one or two selections that can get in front of you just fucks your whole rep career up.
If you probably get a window, like General probably had a window, the Brett Hodgson window. It was them two.
Yeah.
And he just missed it, and then Minnie took over, and then it was game over.
Yep.
Because then even Snakey hit the scene, like you said, when by the time Minnie got injured and missed some footy. All right, mate, let's get into breaking down the game. So I'll go through the list for you, and then what we're going to do is we're going to break down the edges, like I said before. These odds are accurate as of the 14th of August at 8 a.m. Starting with the Melbourne Storm versus the Sydney Roosters. Got some changes here for you as well, Mace, with the Storms versus Roosters at Amy Park.
Wow.
Juzzy Olam is back, mate. Young Tonamapea, who suffered a head injury against the Broncos, and probably
is that the reason?
He might have probably been dropped regardless. Alec McDonald is the guy who comes in for Ryan Pappenhausen. As for the Roosters, they've also got a few changes. Folongol?
Yeah.
22nd, 22, 23. Bellamy's always good for a late change. I hope he plays. I hope the kid plays. Roosters, however, Paul Momorowski has been named in the centres with Corey Allen, who was 18th man. Yep. They've also had to call back Jackson Boller, who's missed a lot of footy. Junior Palnger retains his place on the wing. So Joey Manu, Billy Smith, and Joseph Swiley out. Shout out to Billy Smith, absolute dog. We heard this, so we filmed our potty on Monday. We found out Billy Smith not only finished the game with a broken jaw, apparently doesn't kick goals or doesn't do kicking practice at training, stepped up to the plate, took
slotted
the kick, knocked it because Sammy Walker was having the little knee issues as well. Joseph Swiley was HIA. Shout out to Billy Smith. He showed some
proper dog.
Yeah, some proper dogness. Some dog. He's got that dog mentality about him for sure. All right, mate. The odds actually are $1.26 at the tab, Melbourne. The Sydney Roosters are $3.90 underdogs. The line is 11.5. There's been a little bit of money for the Melbourne Storm minus 11.5. So the punters think Melbourne are going to blow them out. Before we get to that though, Mace, let's break down the edges. So it's a little bit harder with the Roosters because a little bit uncertainty with who plays what. I'm just going to throw the edges out you how I think they'll line up, and you can let us know. So the left edge, Storm left, Remus Smith, Juzzy Olam, Munster and Liero versus Junior Ponga, Corey Allen, Sam Walker, and Siwa Wong, who's had really good 8 games. But
he's playing right edge, right?
He plays right edge. Sam Walker and Wong are locks. They've been playing in that position now for 2 or 3 weeks. I thought Junior Ponga started on the left edge in place of Daniel Tupou, but when Swalei went off, he went over to the right and actually played a lot better. So I'm thinking they may keep him on the right edge. When Momorowski's played, which we'll get to a little bit later on, I feel like he's played more with left, and I haven't liked him and Sam Walker next to each other defensively when they've played.
Corey Allen's a good defender.
Corey Allen's solid.
He's played Origin.
Yep. So
good kid.
This one looks like a bit of a mismatch to me straight off the bat, though, Mace. With the outside backs that are out, how do you think Munster and the left edge with Juzzy Olam back? Do you think they can expose this right edge for the Roosters?
Yes, for sure. I think he's just going to I think he's going to play a little bit pissed off, Cam Munster. He's one of those people. He don't play 2 bad games, and he didn't really play that bad. He was just a little bit off, right?
Oh no, you could argue Munster's been off for a long time now. Like to his standards.
Yeah, he's got high standards. He never really plays 2 or 3 bad games. He's been off a little bit.
Well, this is
fucking run.
This can be a backhanded compliment, but the opinion of Munster is that he's a big game player.
Yes.
Right? And when it counts, he steps up, whether it's Origin, finals, whatever. He hasn't done that for a while. Sometimes you could give away 2 or 3 games throughout the season where you go, money was a bit quiet. Hughesy took control. Harry dominated through the middle. He just kicks back, chills, fucking dominates at Origin, and you're like, fuck, where did that come from? But we haven't really seen it with Prescient. No. So I think he's in for a big one.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I'm looking at this edge, left versus right, with Juzzy Olam back and Remus Smith. I think this is where the joy's going to be had for sure.
Yeah, he needs to run. He needs to take Sam Walker on near the line.
Yeah,
you got to get him even just in the middle of the post, right, and just long shift for him. You got the other boy. Who's the other 5'8"? Back rower.
So Liero.
Yep. He runs a good line.
He does.
Juzzy Olam runs a good line. They've got to really go like on those fucking outside in lines, I reckon.
Yep.
Sam Walker's he's brave, right? He's very brave, but he's going to have to put his head. And he's been fucking under the pump with HIAs, right? So you've got to have Juzzy Olam running inside shoulders. He's going to have to fucking put his body in front.
I'm expecting a massive game out of Juzzy Olam.
You want that, right?
I'm expecting a massive game out of Juzzy Olam.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this for a while. So I think that's big advantage.
Wong's going to be under the pump as well. I know he's fucking good.
Yeah.
But like he's only as good as his middles and how Sam Walker defends.
So Wong's been in the news a lot throughout the week. Apparently he's like you, mate. He's eligible for multiple. I think it's Tonga, Samoa. No, sorry, not Tonga. Samoa, Fiji, Australia, born in New Zealand.
Yeah, mad.
And China.
Yeah, right.
China as well. So he had a bit of a giggle. Said, he said, I'll play for China in the World Cup. He said, I'll play for all of them if they pick me.
Yeah. He's got everything. He's got everything.
Rugby Union, All Blacks, and apparently the Wallabies are both looking at him. So
that's great.
He looks like a real player of the future for the Roosters.
See, I think Melbourne's so well coached. I think they'll just go through the middle so hard. And they'll try and suck in the Fletcher Bakers, the Lindsay Collins. Lindsay Collins, he's a dog. He just works his ass off, right?
Yep.
But that'll put Wong under the pressure massively.
Yep.
Because Munster's not going to stop. He's going to have inside support, outside support. I think he'll have a field day on that edge.
All right, let's get to the other edge. I think clear favourite Storm left to dominate. Yep, I'm with you. Storm right versus Roosters left. So we've got Will Warbrick, Sever, Marion Sever, Jerome Hughes, Alisi Katoa. And on the other side, this is a bit of an educated guess, Jackson Bolo, Momorowski, Kiri, and Butcher.
Yeah.
This one looks a little bit more even.
More balanced.
Yep.
Momorowski's a good defender, right? Yep. He's not going to really give you anything in attack, but he's going to defend.
Yep, for sure.
I like Alisi Katoa, man.
Yeah, so do I.
He's playing.
I like Nat Butcher as well.
Yeah, Nat Butcher's a dog.
I like that matchup in the back row.
They'll cancel each other out.
Yeah.
I reckon. So it's going to be up to the centres. Like Seve's got some talent, man. Jerome Hughes is a runner. You know what I mean? So Warbrick's a dog as well. Like they'll go at it, man. It'll be pretty even, I reckon.
You know
the right edge for Melbourne would just be like, let's just fucking manage Nat Butcher and Momorowski.
I think if I'm the Storm right edge, I'm looking at it going, I feel like I've got a clear advantage on the left. If I'm Hughesy and Harry, which we'll get to through the middle.
Do you have more defensive mode if you're on that right edge, if you're Melbourne? Just shut that shit down? I'm thinking let's lay the line here and let's give the left edge as many opportunities as possible. Yeah, but like just say if you're in defence, right? Just say your mentality, you're like, against the Roosters' left edge.
If we do this edge up,
you're not even. I don't think you're worried.
Yeah. Well, if you're in your mindset should be if we defend this edge, we'd like to think that our left edge is going to have some joy on the opposite side. Is that what you're saying?
I just don't think they're going to be phased, right?
Nah, and they're good. Like they had some problems there for a while. The right edge over the last couple of years as well. I think they really fixed it. Marion Seve, he's been really good.
Yeah,
Will Warbrick is much improved and he's continuing to get better as well. And Katoa, he lost his shit a little bit. Katoa. In the Broncos game. Yeah. He started to get a little bit flustered while she was getting into him.
Yeah, it'd be hard. People don't understand when he's there, you've got 50,000 Brisbane people just going fucking mental. You do one thing wrong to the Golden Child and they are on him massively. You can't hear shit.
Yeah.
All you can do is just react, right? You just got to just chill the fuck out. Don't do anything. Don't bite back. Just fucking get along with the next play.
Any smaller guys or young halves, like because Ezra Mam got in, he started chirping too. Look, it was Ezra Mam. It was Katoa had Walsh by the throat, and Walsh was smiling at him. Little Ezra Mam was getting amongst it. I think Billy Walters was in amongst it.
It's like you're a big lion. It's like a little hyena's coming at you.
Any smaller guys ever chirp you back in the day that you just wanted to knock out?
Because you got a fucking punch in the head.
Yeah, okay.
So there's no repercussions to your actions right now. Like, so you can get in there, get in the big boys' faces and annoy the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Because most of them, like, we can't handle it. Yeah. You just want to fucking fight. So they show so much restraint, man. It's massive.
What about Shifty in that? Did he have any because I used to hear that Craig Gale was a bit of a chirper. Was he a bit like he'd get into
Shifty wouldn't.
Yeah,
he's too nice.
Yeah,
Corey Hughes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Fucking because Corey Hughes would be fucking packing in between me and Oga.
Yeah,
talking so much shit to the other hooker. I can't even say it. I can't even fucking say what he used to say. And he just wouldn't care. He'd be protected.
I love the podcast that Braith did with Jammer, and I haven't watched the full podcast, but I've seen a couple of the clips. And Braith was saying that shit was so personal back in the days.
Yeah,
almost alluding to like you probably couldn't say that in this.
No,
day
you
and
can't.
Yeah.
Like some of the shit that like some of the players used to say to
partners,
each other,
families,
fuck, mate, nothing was like it's fight material.
Yeah. Yeah.
It ain't like fucking, you don't know anyone on Instagram. You don't know anyone. There's no podcasts and
proper
shit.
hated each other.
There's a proper fucking rivalry. Like, we're all friends off the field, right?
Yeah.
We're playing for Australia and that there. We're Minnie and Wingy and Rico, all those sort of blokes. But like, and Croc, like, fuck, mate. Some of the shit that got thrown out, because we used to hang out together. We used to know the right people.
Sapphire.
Same people. It's just like, Croc said, I think Braith's alluding to one of these times where Croc said some shit to Braith. I'm like, fuck. Braith nearly lost it.
Yeah.
First time I've seen Bop nearly lose it. And,
I love that shit.
But we just fucking shake hands after the game.
Yeah,
just go and get on the piss.
As a kid, when I was coming through and I used to see you all at Ravisi's and Sapphire, and I was a junior at the Roosters, and I used to see you hanging together. Me and the younger boys would always be like, fuck, is there tension between them? Because as a Roosters 18, SG baller and 20s, I fucking hated the Bulldogs team. Yeah. So there's part of me that wanted you guys not to hang out, but you'd always be mixing and mingling.
It was a weird vibe, right? Because I knew most of them.
Yeah.
I've known
from rep footy as well.
So once you go on kangaroo tours and that together, you're fucking boys.
Yeah.
But guys like Ogre and that, he fucking take that shit personal. Him and Jason Kalis and all these other blokes, you try and kill them.
They wouldn't hang together.
No. But me, I'll just be me all the time. So Minnie was a real good friend, and like Croc and all those sort of guys. So I was like, you have that bond forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, some players, nah. No. Even Braith, that you never used to fuck with them because you didn't know them like that.
Well, even that dragged on all the way to, I reckon, 2013-14. Like the Manly boys, if you ever wanted to remember the story we told about?
Click, man.
Mate, remember when Kitey, we told that story, like you couldn't even talk to players on the field. When Kitey gave us a warning, he goes, don't say anything to Mace because it's like, again, social media wasn't big then and you didn't have all those relationships. You weren't allowed to talk to the opposition. If you seen them out, you sort of
even before games,
unless you had a relationship.
Yes,
unless you had a relationship, you're supposed to go. But now it's different.
But I used to know a lot of players if I played for Australia. That
yes, because you're rep teams. Yeah.
Anyone else, I'm not fucking talking to you.
Yeah.
Like no one. Not fucking. not even before games, we weren't allowed to talk to the Roosters. So game day, different, right?
Yeah.
Fucking beast mode all the time. But like after the game, fine. And then like what we're doing after the game, all that sort of shit. But like before. Fuck no. And if just say if we're playing the Tigers or somewhere, I don't know anyone on the Tigers.
Yeah.
Everyone's going down.
Yeah.
Sharks. Like, so we'd have that mentality. But when we played the Roosters or if we played some other team, your boys.
Newcastle. They're stacked with rep players.
Yeah.
They're all played,
all the rep sort of teams, you sort of hang out together after the game.
Yeah.
Before it, nah.
Yeah.
But you didn't know anyone from
Storm,
fucking Canberra.
Storm.
Storm fucking hate everyone. You have that mentality before every game.
That's when Billy and all that were young too.
Yeah,
so they
young
weren't in
little
the
kids.
full-on
They just
proper
weren't
rep
about,
scene.
Guys like Ogre used to take that shit personal.
Yeah. Speaking of Ogre and taking it personal, let's get to the middles because that dragged on a little bit. It was good. For the middles, for the Storm, Kamikamitha, Harry Grant, Josh King, Christian Welsh, verse Fletcher Baker, the Hectic Cheese, Victor Radley, and Collins.
I like Melbourne.
I like Roosters.
Yeah?
I like Roosters.
Because I think Harry Grant's going to fucking just go nuts. Kamikamitha, Welsh, just get on your front and find a quick play the ball, please.
Harry's definitely due a big game as well.
Yeah,
I think Husey, Munster, and Harry were way off in that game, so they're due a big game. There's part of me that just thinks, it might even be, I think maybe even Egan Butcher will start again. They've named Fletcher Baker starter and then changed to Egan Butcher, I love Egan Butcher. I think he's a real player of the future. I think he's going to be a gun. I think if he was an out-and-out 13er team, he'd dominate. But I respect the Melbourne pack and I respect the Melbourne team for what they've done. But when I'm just thinking about that Broncos game, and unless they change their mentality where they still got that catch and wrestle mentality that worked well for so many years. They ain't catching and they ain't wrestling for the Roosters.
Yeah,
Bradley's going to...
I don't think they're fucking that hard to tackle. Lindsay Collins and Fletcher Baker and that. They're not
That's true.
They're not big dominant. They're not paying passes and Carrigans and that. So I'm like, Melbourne's bigger and stronger than these guys.
Yeah.
I think they'll flex a little bit. That's it. Josh King's a dog. Like he just tackle everything.
Yep.
Callum Kamith is big. Welsh is big. Like they can go at it. And they'll be looking at this pack going, yeah, let's just take care of Lindsay. He's the biggest body out there.
Yep.
Okay. Know.
Yeah, I'm with
you.
I'm slightly leaning towards the Roosters. The bench is going to play a big part as well. You got
Nasty
Big Nasty
on the bench as well.
You got Big Nasty. You got Terrell May, who's coming off the bench. He's been outstanding for the Roosters as well.
Big Tarek looked good. Tarek, that whole late game.
Tarek. You know what impact Tarek can have. Bit like the Donsky back in the day.
Yeah, just come on and kill people.
people don't remember. Like Donski was a gun player. That Roosters year, he wasn't that crash hot. He was. I think it might have been his last season.
Man.
It might have been his last season.
Yeah.
But in the finals, he upped it. Why? When you're older, when you get a little bit older, you know how to play finals games. You know how to play big games. Tarek knows how to play fucking. He might be looking at this going, how many finals am I going to play?
Yeah, it's probably my last final series.
Who knows? It could be. It could be one more series. It could be this series. So definitely, I felt that energy from Tarek coming off the bench.
And I think he's been playing a little bit busted all year.
For sure.
He's growing. I can just see it's the same as a little bit of a drive, you know what I mean? Like usually he'd just be fucking throwing people off. But he made an impact last week. It was hard for him to come on, right? Imagine being off the bench, coming on, and you're just getting dominated. He ain't that player to change the whole fucking game, right?
But he still had some punch.
Nasty can.
He had some punch.
Yeah, I know that. But like Big Nasty, I expect a lot from him this week.
Yep.
I expect him to come on and terrorise the Roosters pack. They shouldn't be able to stop that big boy.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the bench is in all Melbourne.
All right, so let's summarise. Storm left versus Roosters right.
Storm left.
Advantage left. Storm right versus Roosters left.
Storm right.
Yeah,
and this
Storm
the middles,
and the middles. I'm going the Roosters. So we'll see what happens.
I think all Melbourne. I think.
Yeah. So you're
the bench as well.
So with all that being said, and we'll go back to the prices here with our friends, our partners at the tab. Melbourne Storm $1.26, Sydney Roosters $3.90. Where you going, Mace?
Oh, Storm all day.
Storm. Yeah. What about the 11.5? Do you think it'll be a blowout, or do you think Roosters will keep it close?
I think it'll be close to start with. I think they'll blow them out.
All right. Moving on to the other game. The next one is Warriors versus Knights at Go Media Stadium. Our friends, our partners, have the Warriors $1.53 favourites right now versus Newcastle. With big news, obviously, will be the health of Sean Johnson, who has been rested all week in order to make sure he's ready to go. So he won't. He hasn't had a training session, and they're just going to get him for the captain's run on Friday. So Dill Walker remains on the bench for cover for the playmaker. They, again, didn't have Ronald Volkman in the extended bench, so they must be pretty confident, mate.
Yes.
As for the Knights, Newcastle fly with Adam Clune and Dylan Lucas called into the side for Jackson Hastings and Lachlan Fitzgibbon. Adam Elliott received a fine for his Kellisai tackle. He's good to go. So let's get to the edges for these games, Mace. Heading back here now. The left edge for the Warriors versus the right edge and our boy Tyson Gamble for the Knights. The left edge, Montoya, Pompey, Tamari Martin and Jackson Ford versus Dom Young, Dane Gagai, Tyson Gamble and Frizzell.
Yes. I like Frizz. He really strengthens up that edge, right?
Yep.
Jackson Ford. I don't mind him.
Yep.
He's all right.
He's
like
Martin. He's much improved.
I think Newcastle got the edge, right?
Yep.
I do. I think Frizz is a gun.
I think
Gamble does
clear.
his job. Right? Gamble can do his job. Gags needs to be on fucking point straight away.
Yeah,
he was off in that first half.
That's the worst
fucking half a
That's the worst,
100%. Yeah, because he's too classy and he's too good to do that shit 2 times in a row.
He's frustrated.
And fucking Dom Young is the fucking man.
Yep.
Montoya runs hard as hell, right?
Yep. Yeah, you see Montoya run into the fucking...
He's going to knock someone out, bro.
Well, he fucking ran into the dog of all dogs and he still held his ground, that little Mitch Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
Mitch Kenny off the kick return. So I think he had a go at Cogger. He might have got Cogger, bumped him a little bit. Cogger doesn't have that same stick, so he just sort of latched on.
Kenny got him good.
And he went at Kenny, and Kenny bounced. Yeah. Kenny doesn't bounce back off no one. So Montoya...
Crazy Polynesian fucking strength, man.
Oh, Dallin and Montoya's kick returns are fucking... Like we said, man, they were ready for that game, and they were ready to go, and they still played with the intensity. They just didn't have the polish.
Yeah. Jackson Ford gets nullified by Frizz. Tamari Martin, like Gamble's a pretty good defender. If you get numbers at Gamble on the line, he's not the strongest defender. But if you run straight at him, he'll get you. You just need to be a little bit inside.
He makes bad reads.
Yeah, he doesn't read the play that well.
Yep.
But I don't think Jackson Ford runs those fucking unbelievable lines at him anyway.
Yeah, and Jackson Ford and Pompey aren't probably going to cause him the dramas.
No, Pompey runs those good lines. If you can come outside in on Gags, get Gags fucking coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know. They can cause a little bit of damage, but I don't think they're looking at that edge.
Yeah, I've got... This is probably most confident in an edge I am out of any of the edges in these matchups in both games. Dom Young's on fire. Gags is going to be Gags. Frizzell, I think, even though Ford's having a good year, Frizzell is that dude. He's that dude.
He's top 4 back row.
And then Gamble and Martin, there's not much difference between those two. No. It's a pick your poison on this come up a lot where, when we're talking about the Gamble situation. Tamati Martin's name come up a fair bit, and obviously Burton. I think Burton's still clearly he got caught in the crossfire for whatever reason because you're at the Bulldogs, right? Burton, people will fucking question him. Sorry, Birdo. Birdo, if you think because of the results this year that Matt Burton isn't better than Tyson Gamble, you're
an idiot.
And I'm different to you. I think Tyson Gamble is going to turn into a good. Well, not that you don't think he is, but just because of the little back and forth.
I actually don't think he is.
Well, Burton is clearly better than Gamble, and the team just around hasn't played better as a whole. You put Matty Burton in that Newcastle team, swap Gamble in the Bulldogs, and
you win the comp.
You can almost. I like them so much better. So there's another one where you can swap and change. So, Gamble, Martin, swapping around. Heavy advantage Knights in this one for me.
It's just what they do to get to that edge, right? If they can go from the right side of the post and they have Tohu Harris and Fanua Blake and that sort of deception, right? And then you get the fullback around the back. So that's where they'll get them. If it's just like in the middle of the field, you go edge on edge, Newcastle should stop them.
Yeah,
That's where they come from that numbers line like I told you about, inside of the numbers line.
The benefit for both is that generally the Warriors play left to right as well, play to Shawnee, that's their dominant edge. So if Shawnee plays, they're going to go the other side. Yeah. So defensively, they're probably not going to be worried. And because Jackson Hastings is out, which has been the dominant edge, the left edge for the Knights has been dominant. Yeah. Now you'd like to think the right will get more ball than they'd normally get with Jackson Hastings out. Yeah. So maybe Callan starts floating around to that right edge a little bit more. So I think for both of those reasons, heavy advantage right Knights right edge. Moving on to the Warriors right edge versus the Knights left. This is a good matchup. Dallin, Rocco Berry, SJ, and Murata Nikora versus Greg Marzu, Bradman Bess, Clune, and Dylan Lucas.
Yeah, see, I think with Fitzgibbon there, like he makes a difference, man.
His back end of the season was really good. Once he made the decision to go overseas, he fucking
just played his football.
Coincided with the form of the Knights as well, though.
Clune, like he's been pretty good all year.
Yep. He's been a bit like Cogger. Yeah, so when Cogger's come in and played for the Knights, he's performed
He'll do a job. But Bradman Best, he's probably one of the best centres in the game.
Yep.
Marju, probably one of the best finishers in the game.
Yep.
Play twos. I like Niokora because he's a fucking dog. And SJ, they go away. SJ's defence this year, it's been slept on.
Yeah, it's been unreal.
He's been nailing it. I like the Warriors,
Yeah, same. I think
like the Warriors. Rocco Berry just does his job. If you sleep on Rocco Berry, he's going to carve you up.
Yep.
But I just think they're going to miss. Newcastle's going to miss that combination with Fitzgibbon and Hastings and all that sort of shit.
If they play on
and with
Knights,
Ponga around the back, that's where they go. They go from that fucking numbers line and they try and get Ponga. See when Gamble come around, a little dummy lead out the back, boom, boom. That last touch from Ponga the best.
Yeah, and
that's where they try and get.
They ran similar shape before, but it was more block. Once they added the drop in, it just held the defensive line up a little bit more, and then they were able to execute it better. So that's one really good coaching, really good IQ, really good play management by Jackson and Kalen, whoever come up with it, because. Sometimes when you go in with a game plan, they've got little different variations on the shape that they do. But just say one doesn't work, they're like, all right, let's tweak it just a touch. Let's just drop someone underneath here, and then you can have some joy. So that was really nice play. It'll be so much onus on the middles, right? We'll get to the middles soon. But if you see Gamble coming over to that side, if they nail that numbers line, I'm saying that rail line there. Yep. You've got to fucking move from marker and A and B to put pressure on the first ball player. Yep. You can't let him sink into the line, because the more pressure that middles put on Gamble and that takes time off Ponga. Yep. Then the outside backs can fucking sit there and read the play a bit better instead of like on ball, catch on ball, bang, bang, bang. The defence needs to be moving their asses off. Right. Middles don't understand that. You've got good middles. You've got Fanua Blake and all that. Yes. You got Vets, Egan, all that sort of shit. Yeah, and you're right. And I think this is why these middles can really help out that edge. It's very close. I think I'm giving slight advantage to the Warriors on that edge just because of the class of
because of Nick Cora and SJ.
Yep. And Dallin's just as good a finisher as Marzu in different ways. All right, moving on to the middles, and this is probably going to determine the game for me, and this is the reason I'm going the Warriors straight off the bat. Adam Fanua Blake, Wade Egan, Harris, and Barnett.
It's a good middle.
Saifidi, Crossland, Elliott and Thompson, good middle as well.
Yeah.
I really like that middle. Someone tossed up an Egan versus Crossland matchup as well in the comments. Not even close. No. Phoenix Crossland is developing into the Gamble and Crossland knock, I think, was really people got upset by that. But like, you got to remember, this is like 10 weeks of footy that we've seen quality footy. You can't judge a player on 10 weeks of footy. You need to see a couple of seasons. And for me, when the Warriors were going bad, I've been a big fan of Wade Egan for a long time. So I think he's a class 9. He's due for rep footy as well.
Or Fanua Blake, man.
And Aden, Jacob Saifidi. They should not have put Aden and Jacob Saifidi stats next to each other, even though Saifidi's been killing it.
He's been killing Fanua, that just shows how fucking good Fanua Blake's been.
Saifidi's playing Origin, Jacob.
Yes.
And killed it. And Aden is dominating him on the stats.
I think Fanua Blake. I think I need that. I need that fucking man of the match game from him. Barnett, old team, let him go. Filthy.
Yes, I like that.
You know what I mean? Like, so he's going to be fucking. He has that chip on his shoulder. He's going to be coming at you real quick. That inside pressure that Barnett does. He does all the things that Fanua Blake sort of has. It doesn't have plays off, but like he'll be a marker where Barnett will be going flying.
Yeah.
Because you know Fanua Blake's going to give you 250 plus metres. Big minutes and everything. So Barnett knows his job. You need that dude.
Yes.
You can't have two guys similar.
Complementary.
You've got to be complementary. Yeah, you've got to have that sort of shit. Barnett, he fucking does all that fucking dog shit, you know? Goes out there, inside pressure. So he'll be doing all those little things that you need to be done. Egan does it as well. Toru Harris does it as well. Fanua Blake does his own thing as well. It's fucking well balanced.
Advantage Warriors?
Yeah.
Yep. Advantage.
I mean, I like Elliott. I think Elliott's in a predicament where he's got 13 on his back and he needs to connect it to the edge, where sometimes he needs to fucking run.
I'm interested to see how Elliott goes without Jackson Hastings. I think they've got a really good combination. And Clune's been good when he's filled in as well. But I think, in years past, you will watch Adam Elliott and he's obviously a good player, but he's got the odd he can go off the rails a little bit with maybe a couple of errors, or he loses his shit a little bit and maybe gave away a penalty or two. I think with Jackson Hastings is there, has like really calmed him down this year, because I think there's nice clear direction when Jackson's there. It'll be interesting to see if Clune can have that same relationship with him and keep him
Because I was speaking to some people from Newcastle. They reckon he's the fucking heart and soul of that team.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Elliott. Because I was speaking to Ogre, and Ogre was speaking to people up there. He goes, who do you reckon their dude is? I'm like, fucking Ponga. I don't know, Jacob Saifidi. He goes, Elliott.
Yeah.
He goes, that's
big rap.
Yeah, it's massive. And that's from the insiders, right?
Is he a Newcastle junior?
No. He's a Bulldogs junior.
Is he Bulldogs junior? Fuck.
So he holds all the energy in that team.
Yeah.
So that was fucking good to know, actually.
Yeah.
Because he's a good kid.
Yep.
But I want to know what the fuck is going on. Like, he needs to know his role. He's either a ball player or he just runs. I like Adam Elliott when he's a dog. He just goes at it.
Yep.
And if he needs to connect to his edge, he can do it easy.
You got to find the balance.
Yeah.
You've got to find the balance.
Don't overplay your hand.
All right, so let's go back to it, mate. Our friends, our partners, the Tab, have the Warriors $1.53, the Newcastle Knights $2.50. The line is -5.5. Who wins the game, and what do you like with the points?
Yeah, I like the Warriors, man.
Yep.
Comfortably? Yeah.
Did you say you like the Storm comfortably, or did you like them? Yeah. So two big wins to the home teams.
They'll be good. I mean, I think they'll be close for like 60 minutes, 65 minutes.
Yep.
And that crowd, you've got to take the crowd out, Newcastle. Look at that field. They're going to cop whatever they had support-wise in Newcastle, they're going to get that in
opposite.
Yeah, in total opposite.
Complete opposite. I'm with you, mate. Melbourne and the Warriors. I can envision a Melbourne big win, actually, the more I think about it. And I think the Warriors and Newcastle have been playing close games now, it feels like, for the last 10 weeks. Do
you think Newcastle got nearly ambushed last week because of the run that they've had into the semi-finals?
Yeah, for sure.
Like the last 10 games, I think everyone was out of the top 8, about 7 teams.
There's a part of me that thinks they'll perform better over there.
Yeah, I think they'll be better for that game.
They'll be like, okay, well, games, 30,000.
We're playing the big boys now.
Yeah,
Canberra gave them a shock. They're like, "Fuck, are you that good?" We nearly got done, and we thought we were killing it.
Yeah, the mentality's
so now it's like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
everyone's coming for us.
In a world with no Sean Johnson, how do you think the Warriors go?
Oh, if Shawnee doesn't play, Mace, are you flipping to the Knights?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
he's that important to that team.
Yeah.
Because of the Dylan Walker factor coming off the bench.
Yeah.
He comes on and he is an instant fucking hit of nitro.
Yeah.
Nitrous, whatever.
Nitro.
Yeah. He does it like that. So he can't start games because he's used to bringing that energy off the bench.
Well, they lose two things. You lose your steady half in the middle and then you lose that impact that comes off the bench and has an effect too.
And it fucks the team up. Yeah. That's how important it is. But I hope to God he plays. Surely he had that mindset, right?
Thursday, the 14th, 9:30. Sean Johnson is still in. If he plays,
Surely he plays.
If he doesn't, Knights.
He had that mentality like, fuck Penrith. I need to get this home game in fucking New Zealand.
Yep.
Put New Zealand on my back.
I'm with you, mate. All right, let's move on to the LPC multi for this week. We hit last week Kalen Ponga and Reece Walsh in the first 60 minutes. That's where I do my best work with the jam, the try-scoring jam. So this week, he's back in the team. I think he has a big performance. Juzzy Olam on the left edge for the Melbourne Storm. And despite the Newcastle Knights being better defensively on their left edge, I like Dylan Waitenez-Zelezniak at home in front of his home fans.
I like it.
Up the wires to score, both of them to score in the first 60 minutes. $12 with a max bet of 25. That is going to hit responsibly, of course. As always, we want everyone to be playing safe during the footy season, so please keep front of mind what are you really gambling with. And if you need free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Those will be my anytime jams, obviously, for the weekend as well, but I'll put a couple more bets in with those plays on the LPC, on the Bets Friends banner, on the Tab app. That's a lot of ons, but you get the point. Mace, enjoy the weekend finals. See you after the Sydney Marathon. Me and Ricky might be a little bit sore on Monday night giving you the review, but we'll be here. We're ready to go. I'm going to treat myself, have a few beers. We're going to be catching up with the Hello Sports boys at the Ivy as well.
Is it Ivy's after party at Ivy?
It's at the Ivy.
Fuck, you might twist my arm.
Yeah, you're in. So good luck to everyone performing not only in the finals, but in the Sydney Marathon, whether you're doing the half marathon or you're doing 10 of the best. A great effort. We'll see you out there on Sunday and enjoy the footy.
See you guys.